7 years ago, the highly anticipated game Borderlands 2 was released. Ever since, I've been craving a sequel, and finally, today we will take a look at Borderlands 3. Now, many people are saying it's the same game as its predecessors, just with better graphics, and honestly, in my opinion, they couldn't be more wrong. From some of the best FPS combat I've experienced this year, and not to mention the alien environments with world building sprinkled all over, Gearbox has really taken steps to innovate on the popular franchise. It's just in more subtle ways. Don't get me wrong, it's not a different game in any capacity, but it's most definitely the best Borderlands experience yet. Now, this is my first impressions of Borderlands 3. Sit back and relax, and I will show you why I love this game so damn much. Let's get the elephant out of the room and talk about the visual improvements. Now, one of the weaker points of Borderlands 2 was the UI. Well, it's definitely been improved upon. It's much more appealing to the eye, giving you a lot more clarity, adding a 2019 vibe to the entire game, which was sorely needed, to be honest. Now, the next thing I noticed was how beautiful and crisp the environments are. Even the bland Pandora that we've seen time and time again manages to go ahead and give a different feel to that area of the game. The lighting here is drastically better, with what seems to be a day and night cycle, at least on Pandora. Then once you leave Pandora, you start to realize a true difference in level design, given true verticality to many of the planets you visit. I'm not going to spoil any of the details on many of the different planets, but I will throw in a couple different areas in this gameplay just to spice up the video a little bit, but it's nothing story breaking. I will of course have videos dedicated to planets and story in the future, so expect that really soon. Best of all, and easily the most improved aspect, the weapons. They are so damn desirable. Guns in previous games weren't this interesting, not like they are here. Every weapon is detailed, even allowing for certain customizations such as weapon skins and little decorative items that can be put on any weapon, allowing for a deeper sense of ownership on many of the guns that you're sure to find. We'll take more time in a moment to go ahead and go over loot and cosmetics, but first I want to talk about how good the overall sound quality actually is. With all the visual improvements, I was really surprised of how much detail they've added to the audio. Gunshots are precise and impactful. The sound of your character moving is noticeably different. Ambient environment sounds adds to the living world. The music is also very favorable. It truly is impressively done and adds to the entire experience. NPC dialogue is also much better. No more having to struggle with hearing important story elements while you're in fighting and combat like it was in Borderlands 2 and 1. Don't get me wrong, there are moments like this, but it doesn't happen very often. And when it does, I think they actually lower the volume of the weapons just so you can hear the audio a little bit better, which is a nice little touch. The voice acting ranges from just okay to pretty damn good, but none of them are actually really that bad. Some actually may be a little bit annoying at times, but that's as bad as it gets in my opinion. Now, I want to try to keep this video as concise and to the point as possible, and as it being my first impressions, I will have more videos soon covering all the info I might miss out. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about the best aspect of Borderlands 3, the badass gameplay. Let's start with the movement. In Borderlands 2, everything felt clunky. This is no longer the case. As you know, you can now climb over structures, you can slide while sprinting into cover, weapon sway is smooth, basic movements are fluid, everything feels like you'd expect from a shooter in 2019. Now, if I had to compare it to something, it would probably be Destiny 2. Even the weapon feedback is very similar, but it somehow keeps the classic feel as well, which I really do love. Now, many people are saying, or many reviewers at least, are saying that the combat is just the same as it was in Borderlands 2. Well, I have to strongly disagree with them. The combat is so damn good. You can slide into your enemies, knocking them over, doing damage. You can slide into a barrel so you can shoot it up in the air and do damage. Now enemies have a ragdoll effect, so when you shoot them with a shotgun or any other powerful weapon, they will fly up in the air and you can keep shooting them in the air and they will explode, and it is so damn fun and addicting. I'm getting so worked up trying to talk about the combat. That's how fucking fun it really is. I'll try to calm down. I know I need to, but I just can't. People are saying the combat is so similar to Borderlands 2, but honestly, it's not. Don't get me wrong, all the same mechanics are there, but damn, you can have a lot of fun playing this game. I would compare the fun factor to Rage 2's gunplay. Rage 2's gunplay really does a damn good job making it fun, and I gotta say, Borderlands 3 does the same thing here. It's a little bit different. Of course, I'm not comparing it directly to Rage. They're two different games. I'm gonna stop. I'm about to go on a rant here. I just know my point is that the combat in Borderlands 3 is just really addicting. Not to mention the improved ability tree, which I'm gonna dive deeper into progression in a different video soon. Just know it is rewarding. All these gameplay changes and additions are very nice, but it's meaningless if the loot can't really compare to the previous games. Luckily, it's much better than you actually might think. One thing I love about the loot when it drops is the new UI. It's much easier to read and just freshens up the gameplay loop in a way I didn't really expect. At lower levels, weapons can seem to be weak and similar to each other, but as soon as you leave that first planet, Pandora, it really opens up, and you start finding some really unique gear that you'll definitely love using. Here are a few examples of some of my favorite weapons I've found so far. Of course, weapons are just a fraction of the loot table. You'll also be getting grenade mods, shield mods, relics, class mods, cosmetic items, and more. Now, grenade mods are very awesome. They are just as fun as ever to use. You'll get some really good ones very quickly. Here's a couple examples of some cool grenade mods I found. If you're new to Borderlands, be sure to let me know if you'd like to see a tutorial video for the basics. I would really actually like to do one. Now I want to take a second and discuss the cosmetics. This is one thing Gearbox has actually made much more interesting. Customization has been increased to a badass degree, allowing for more character skins, but also echo skins, emotes, decorations for your ship, weapon skins, and of course, the badass head skins. Now this can also be customized even further by changing all the different colors from a pretty decent color palette. I really do love customization in games, and Borderlands does a good job. Now here in this Borderlands, you'll actually be doing multiplayer modes more often if you're into that, so making a badass character is actually more desirable than it's ever been. Now all the unlockables, you're not paying microtransactions, at least not yet. If that happens, then I will have to hate this game and not recommend it at all, but I really hope they don't start making you pay for the Iridium, which is the currency used to unlock all the cosmetics. You can just go, there's a merchant on your ship, I won't spoil who, you can go to him and he will sell you loads of cosmetics and customization options, which is really nice, and I just really love the little touch they added to it. One thing I thought I never really needed in a Borderlands title is actually one of the most welcoming mechanics here. The new social functionality is amazing. There is now matchmaking for the campaign, for the Circle of Slaughter, which is a endless horde mode, and Proving Grounds, which I'll talk about in a different video of course. Now there's also 2 in-game challenges, Mayhem mode and True Vault Hunter mode, of which I haven't personally tried, so I'll have to cover these later. You have to beat the game to gain access to these, but they will grant you some pretty badass rewards. Now there's also the new mailing feature, which is freaking awesome. I love this thing. You can mail items to your friends, they can mail items to you. Even the different gun brands in the game will actually send you weapons if you're using their gun quite often. They'll send you weapons periodically over a certain amount of time, which is awesome. I love this. And the weapon notes will actually they'll give you a nice little message. Sometimes it's actually pretty funny, which the comedy in Borderlands doesn't really hit the nail on the head, but I'll talk about that in a spoiler video. In this one, I'm trying to keep this video free of all spoilers. Borderlands 3 isn't without its issues, especially on the PC. There are bugs everywhere, and the UI menu can be very clunky at times, sometimes to a ridiculous degree. Now, I've had a quest bug that actually forced me to restart the game to fix it, but none of these actually ruined my experience and the fun I was actually having. I've put a little bit more than 10 hours into the game, so this can change, but I'll have an updated review soon, after I get a good grasp on the game, which will be a while, but I'll have videos coming in between, like top 10 weapons I've found and things along that line. So would I recommend BL3 to you? Well, most reviews are saying it's just more BL2, and that actually may be the case, but honestly, it's much more than that, at least in my opinion. With all the new quality of life mechanics, the social features, to the combat, to the cosmetics, it all sums up for a much better experience, especially during combat. So yes, I would definitely recommend this game if you're interested in Borderlands at all, in any degree. This is definitely a must. Now, if you're not into Borderlands, wait a minute and just wait for some good reviews to come out so you can get a good grasp on what the game is. Now, if you're into FPS games at all, then yes, get this game. It is definitely fun and worth the money. You'll definitely get all your content worth. I'm only like a quarter of the way in, and I'm at least at 10 hours. I'm sure I have more gameplay time than that. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. I have to go and get back to playing the damn game. I gotta say, I'm addicted to it. I'm having a lot of fun, so I hope you guys are actually having the same experience. Let me know in the comments below how you're taking the game, or if you've played it, or if you plan to play it. Now, thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family.